If you've dipped your toes into the arguments for the existence of God recently, you've probably encountered something called the Kalam cosmological argument. But while this argument may be popular today, it actually hasn't been so well accepted by even Christians historically. In fact, one of the most famous Christian apologists of all time, St. Thomas Aquinas, outright rejected this argument. You see, Aquinas argued that it was impossible to know that the universe had a beginning in time from reason alone, and that it was only through divine revelation from the authority of Scripture and the Catholic Church that we can know that the universe began to exist. But is Aquinas really right to do this? After all, William Lane Craig put forward arguments for his belief that the universe began to exist. Arguments that he claims establish the conclusion that the universe began to exist from reason. So in order for Aquinas to be right, there must be a problem with those arguments. Craig claims that if the universe had existed for an infinite amount of time, it would entail the existence of an actual infinite in the real world. After all, there would have been an infinite number of existing moments in history, which, when taken together, would be an actually infinite number of existing moments. Or so Craig argues. The problem Aquinas has with this is that he doesn't think that you can really take all the moments in history together and arrive at an infinite set. Why? Well, because Aquinas is firmly committed to the position that only the present moment of time exists. The past doesn't really exist anymore. A moment comes, and then it disappears, never to exist again. But if only the present moment exists, then would an infinite past really entail an actually infinite number of moments? It doesn't really look like it. Instead, it looks like you would only have one actually existing moment, and an infinite number of moments that once existed but don't anymore, and therefore aren't actual. In other words, you would be looking at a potential infinite instead of an actual infinite, where time is actually only composed of one moment, with merely the potential to add other moments to it. And this is Aquinas' basic objection to the argument that an infinite past is impossible. An infinite past wouldn't really be an actual infinite, but a potential infinite. So that is why Thomas Aquinas, if he were alive today, would reject one of the most popular arguments for God, the Kalam cosmological argument. The greatest defenders of Christian philosophy just weren't simpletons. They weren't just going to go along with an argument because it agreed with what they believed. For Aquinas and the other scholastic theologians, the emphasis was always on the truth and trying to find the truth no matter how much pushback they might get, even from their own side.